And we are live on this Sunday, December the 1st here, and you know what that means. It's time for the Cora Championship Online Racing Association Sunday Money Series tonight. The Kohls-Weelborg Trucks Center Charlotte 200 here with the Cora Sunday Money Series and race number 1 of a 3-race chase to crown our champion for the 3rd season. Alongside Marcus Babb, my name is Evan Pasoko, under the lights at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the NASCAR trucks. 125 laps, that's about 187 miles on the board tonight. But first and foremost, Marcus, welcome up to the booth here. I think we're in for a good show tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun race here. These guys have been practicing hard, putting in some long hours, trying to get these trucks to handle accordingly. Like you stated, 125 laps. That's a lot of laps for potential disaster, but hopefully here these guys can keep the doors on them, as to speak, and we see some good racing.
And definitely, right now the drivers on the racetrack putting in their qualifying times to set the field for tonight's race. But before we move forward to tonight, we're going to talk real quick about last week. They were at the Daytona International Speedway in the trucks, so there's going to be back-to-back weekends in these trucks. And in the end, it was Dallas Miracle taking home the win. Dale Smalley in 2nd, Everett Lane in 3rd, Michael Cheersma in 4th, Travis Brown 5th, Eric Sharp in 6th, Jay Anderson 7th, Nathan Sediak 8th, 9th place going to Galen Gidman and Ross Cadeau rounding up the top 10. I do believe, Marcus, you were in the booth last week. What was the feel of that kind of race?
Oh, it's always fun when you go to them big tracks. I mean, Daytona being 2.5 miles the way it is. I mean, it was a blast. You know, my first week there, sitting alongside Joe Cortez, I mean, I had a blast, and I know the guys down on the track had a blast. I talked to a couple of them after the race, and they said that, you know, it's getting to be crunch time. You had mentioned, you know, 3 races, you know, is all the longer our chase is, so it's not a lot of time to make up lost ground if there was any.
And definitely mentioned about that. Now it is down to 12 drivers that will race for the championship. That is going to include Dale Smalley, the defending champion, up atop the points. 2 drivers, 4 points back, tied for 2nd, Michael Churchman and Dallas Miracle. Gary Bauer in the 4th spot, 9 back, 13 back, Galen Gidman. Everett Lane, 16 back and 6th. Jay Anderson in the 7th spot, 19 points back, 22 points back, Nathan Sedlak in the 8th spot. 9th place, Ben Manning, 25 back. 28 points back is going to be Travis Brown, rounding up the top 10. And the last 2 drivers in this chase, Michael Johnson, 31 back, and 34 back is Joel Wood. Only 3 races are going to determine who's going to take home that championship. Obviously, most people are going to say Dale Smalley is the favorite, but I'm sure lots of these guys are going to want to put a twist on that. The races that will decide our champion tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the trucks. Next week, Richmond in the Indy cars, and then we cap it off at Talladega in the trucks. Marcus, looking forward to tonight's race. If you're on the hosted section a lot in iRacing, you see this race a lot. What are you expecting really from tonight's race?
I expect it to be fast. 125 laps. It's going to be down here. It's going to click away pretty quick, and you know, it's going to be fun. I think you're going to see some side-by-side racing. I've noticed some guys in practice running 3-4 laps side by side, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that. And it's going to be interesting. It's really going to be a lot of fun.
We're looking forward to it. The drivers are finishing up qualifying, so we're going to send it down trackside now for the pre-race ceremonies and the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
And we are back. The trucks are on the grid. Qualifying has come to a close, and we are ready for chase race number 1 of 3 to determine our Season 3 champion with the Cora Sunday Money Series. Again, tonight at the Charlotte Motor Speedway under the lights for the Kohls-Weelborg Truck Center 200 here. Kohls-Weelborg Truck Center located in Red Falls, Minnesota. Marcus, let's take them through the grid. Sitting on the front row, taking the pole, the 07 of Gary Bauer. Outside him, starting shotgun on the field, the 48 of Dallas Miracle.
Starting inside second row in that third position will be in the 88 machine, Michael Churchma. Jay Anderson starting fourth in the 18th. And rounding out your top 5 will be Don Stevenson in the 47.
We also got Gordon Berkey in the number 17, starting in the 6th spot, 7th position, the 20 of David Wank. Colton Berkey in the 81 is going to take to the grid 8th spot, 9th, the 35 of Nathan Sedlak, and rounding off the top 10, the 06 of Daniel Miller.
Galen Gidman is going to start the 04 machine 11th. Ben Manning in the 67 will be starting 12th. To hit Everett Lane in the number 1 will be starting 13th. To his outside in the number 30 machine, Ross Cato.
Take a look at the 15th place car, 78, Michael Johnson, one of our chasers. James Brown in the 00, going to start 16th. 17th, the 64 of Michael Whitlock. Kerry Cleaver in the 45 machine, going to take to the grid 18th spot. 19th, it's going to be Jacob Nye. Eric Sharp in the 86, going to round up the top 20.
Starting 21st in the 39 machine is Sal Accardi. 22nd will be Ryan Burgess. 23rd in the 33 will be Travis Brown. And in the 3 machine starting 24th will be James Wilkins.
Going to round out the field here, the 61 of John Pancella, going to hit the grid at 25th, 26th spot, going to belong to the 11 machine of Edward Smith. Joe Wood in the 79, going to take the grid 27th spot rather. The 69, Dale Smalley, championship leader, way back in 28th, first car to not take a time, and rounding off the field is the 90 of Mark McFadden. So 29 trucks are going to take us to the green flag here as we are doubled up in turns number 3 and 4. The field going to be in the hands of the 07 machine of Gary Bowers. The lights are off on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car at the front of the field. We're going to come to look to take the green flag as the field works their way off of turn number 4. Waiting on the pace car, it's down the pit lane. Gary Bowers going to wait on it, and he is on the loud pedal. The green flag is out, and we are racing at the Charlotte Motor Speedway as real quickly Dallas Miracle is going to pull into second, and he's on the 07's back bumper.
The race now being for third place with the 88 of Michael Churchma and the 18 of Jay Anderson as they come off of 2 heading down the backstretch. Still Dallas Miracle on the rear bumper of the 07 of Gary Bauer, your leader.
It's going to be Churchma getting the pass done on the 18 of Jay Anderson. So Jay Anderson going to drop back into 4th, side by side, right around the 10th spot. You take a look at the 10th place car right now, the 06 of Daniel Miller. He is looking in front of him at a good battle going on side by side, and that is involving several race cars, including the 81 of Colton Berkey on the top, the 17 of Gordon Berkey in front of him on the top lane, and also the 04 of Galen Gidman on the bottom. So we're 2 wide, 2 rows deep here down the backstretch.
A good battle for 9th place as those trucks are going to enter turn 3, still going to be 2 wide, 2 deep. And there was a pass up in about the 6th place, looks like between Don Stevenson and David Wink.
These guys continuing to go at it. This is a bit for the 8th spot. The 04 of Galen Gidman having the advantage the last time by the stripe, starting to pull away a little bit on the inside. Going to try to clear the 17, can't do it. Now the 06 of Miller's going to look to the inside. He's going to back off because that would have been 3 wide going into the corner. That would have been close, looking like the 17 of Gordon Berkey can't hang on the top lane. And now the 04 of Galen Gidman has troubles on the track.
Trouble as the 39 of Sal Accardi, I believe, is going to get turned around going into 3.
He is around, and the caution flag is out. Looks like he got a little bit of help. Taking a look at the replay there, the 86 machine was on his inside. That is Eric Sharp. Eric Sharp maybe pushed up the racetrack just a little bit. Had about a car length down to the white line, and the 39 got that right in the left rear, spun him up and into the outside wall. He got damage from that, but I do believe nobody else collected in that, which is a good call for all those guys behind him to get down there on the apron in time to avoid that incident. And that battle that we saw up front is going to have to settle down for the time being, because we are going to go under our first caution of the night, and it's still the 07 of Gary Bauer hanging on up front as this race starts to get going here.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Sal Liccardi. Still running as close as they are. One truck makes a mistake and you're sure to have others involved, but here that didn't seem to be the case as they entered 3. It's Evan, these things are bound to happen. I mean, 125 laps, the guys know the chase is on is on the horizon here, and they're going to be trying to do everything they can to gain them last couple spots.
And definitely, let's talk about the track that we're at tonight, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Under the lights tonight, a quad oval racetrack, not a tri-oval. A quad oval has 2 distinct dog legs on the front straightaway. That can get pretty hairy if you're going side by side and your car doesn't have a lot of stability underneath it. It can get pretty close there going 2x2 through there. Nonetheless, the tri-oval or the quad oval surface is an asphalt surface. The track is 1.5 miles in length with 4 turns. The turns banked at about 24 degrees and 5 degrees on the straightaway. You see those white hash marks or white lines down the backstretch, and then the dashed white lines on the front straightaway can kind of give these drivers some reference points on going 2 wide. We saw the guys look maybe 3 wide down the back straightaway. They backed out of that because that's really not what you want to be doing 3 laps in.
It's awfully early to be racing for them positions. Hash marks, like you mentioned, I know, with me having some seat time here with these trucks at this track, it's certainly something that I use, possibly more along the front stretch than the back. 2x2 or door to door, side by side, whatever you call it. I know my white knuckles come out when I'm going down the front stretch, and some of these drivers out here will find themselves in that position more than once. So you talked about trucks getting tail happy there, Evan. It can certainly happen coming off of 4, or as you're snapping that wheel to the left to try to maintain that inside line.
And definitely, another thing is you don't want to get those left side tires on that grass. And you mentioned going through those dog legs. If that rear end steps out, you really don't have a lot to do. If you try to correct it, you might find yourself nose first into the outside wall. If you don't, you're going to be sliding up in front of the pack. So you really have to be on the edge of your seat this entire race, because these trucks want to go everywhere but forward. They are sideways through the corner, and that's why these guys have really been fine-tuning their setups when they did their qualifying races to get in here. One interesting thing to note, again, championship leader Dale Smalley sitting second last on the racetrack, trying to hang out maybe at the back of the pack, try to avoid some of the chaos. He pitted under this caution, so he's going to remain back there at the back of the pack. Interesting strategy. Call, will that pay off for him? We still have a lot of time to tell as we're working lap 6 of 125 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. The field is doubled up and the lights are off on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car up at the front of the field. Working through 3 and 4, coming to the green flag, the front row, 07 of Gary Bauer and the 48 of Dallas Miracle. Again, the pace car down to pit lane, waiting on Gary Bauer to bring us to the green flag. He gets to go. He's on the loud pedal, and we're racing again. A good jump by the 48 of Miracle, and he's going to slide into second with ease. They're side by side for 4th.
Side by side as that 18 of Jay Anderson down on that inside, trying to hold off the 47 of Don Stevenson. It looks like he's going to pass as these trucks come off of turn 2 down the backstretch towards 3, and Don Stevenson ain't giving up on that outside. He's going to try to hold her there.
Going through 3 now and coming off 4 of the 47, trying to keep a nose there on the 18 machine of Jay Anderson. Can't keep it done this time by, but they have company joining them up in this battle, because another driver starting to peek his nose in there. He wants a piece of the action. That's the 35 of Nathan Sedlak, trying to make something work on the inside there. Lost a bit of speed. Now the 18 of Anderson is going to clear Stephenson, but a big checkup behind the 35 as he got a big wiggle going into 1. So they're going to go side by side behind them. That's the 06 of Daniel Miller and the 04 of Galen Gidman. Gidman trying to get down in line in front of the 20, but David Wink is there, and now he's going to do it by the start-finish line.
These trucks starting maybe to get a little settled in here. They're going to go single file through 1 and 2, and it looks like the 18 of Jay Anderson's going to have some company again as the 47 of Don Stevenson looks to his outside with maybe a little bit of help from the 35 of Nathan Sedlak.
They are side by side in 3 and 4. The 47 of Stephenson having a little bit of a run off the corner and he's going to get that run coming off the top lane. He's going to lead him by the stripe, but the question is, can he clear Jay Anderson? He has not quite done it, so they're going to go side by side again, going into turn number 1. The 18 is there. Here comes the 35 of Nathan Sedlak to the top. Sedlak going to go right to the back bumper of the 47 machine of Stephenson. They're both going to get around the 18 of Anderson. So Anderson's going to go back to 5th, and he has more company in the 06 and the 04 right behind him as we're going to looking to go 3 wide coming off 4.
3 wide off of 4 through that tricky section, the double dog leg. The loser there is going to be Michael Churchman as he maybe thinks better about it going into 1. Capitalizing on that is going to be the 06 of Daniel Miller picking up that 6th spot.
Now they're side by side still. The 20 machine of David Wink side by side with the 18 of Jay Anderson. Anderson has lost about 4 spots in these last 2 laps. And a big wiggle up the hill goes the 18 of Anderson. He's going to try to keep it out of the fence. He does it as he allows the 81 of Colton Berkey to go around him as well. And now the 17 of Gordon Berkey is going to be approaching him going into 1. Going to see if he tries to make a move for that position. But the 18 going to hang on for now. But Jay Anderson having some trouble after picking up some spots. He started the race 4th, has lost, and is now dropping, sitting now in the 10th spot here on lap 12.
Keeping an eye on these top 3 trucks up here. Dallas Miracle in the 48 machine, and your 2nd place chase contender Michael Churchma swapping spots for that 2nd place, all happening behind your leader Gary Bauer, who has opened up that race lead now to half a second, and it looks like the 47 and the 35 will be closing on that 2nd place position. They're going to want some of this action before it's over.
The hazard zone is still here around 10th because the 18 of Jay Anderson is going to allow one more car to get on by him. That's the 67 of Jay Manning, and now here comes the 30 of Ross Cato going to the inside. They're side by side, and now side by side in front of them is the 17 of Gordon Berkey. Has some company with the 67 of Ben Manning on that inside line. So again, we're going to go 2 wide, 2 rows deep. Looking like the 30 of Cato is going to get the advantage on Anderson. Anderson looking to get the runoff too, but they are side by side between those cars in front of them, the 17 and the 67 going into 3.
The 67 getting the advantage there as they come across the stripe. Starting lap 15, that's 14 in the books. Still a long ways to go here. Things are settling down, it seems. I said that the last time and kind of jinxed these guys, but seems like they're settling down a little bit now as it looks like a battle is on there again for in and around that 10th place position.
Yeah, the 17 of Gordon Berkey kind of lost the handle on it and 1 and 2 pushed up the hill, and the 30 of Ross Cato jumped on that and went to the inside lane. They're going to go side by side at the stripe. I do believe it was Cato barely with the advantage over those two, but they're going to go side by side. They got to watch what they're doing. If one of them makes a mistake, the number 1 machine of Everett Lane is right behind them, and he's willing to capitalize if any of these guys slip up the track or anything like that. But they're still going to be side by side down the back straightaway. You got to think that these guys are starting to get tired. They've been gone about, 2 wide these last 10 laps since we went back to the green flag. And they're still going at it. Those 17s starting to fall off a little bit on the top lane. Going to try to get the runoff 4 that time by the stripe. And now we're going to work into turn number 1. The advantage is the Ross Cadeau, and he's going to try to clear him here and pick up that spot in 1 and 2.
Everett Lane is now looking to take that spot away as the 17 of Gordon Berkey gets a fairly good run off of 2. He's going to say not yet, Everett, and pull down in front of him as the trucks work through 3 and 4. Now looking to put that truck on the inside of Ross Cato through the tri-oval.
Now on inside the top 3 because we are going at it up at the front of the field. The 88 of Michael Churchma sitting in second has a frenzy going on behind him. Lots of drivers going side by side, going into turn 3, beating and banging on each other's back bumper. The 47 of Don Stephenson on the inside, trying to get around the 07 of Gary Bauer. Bauer into the wall off 4. That's going to allow the 35 of Sedlak to get to his inside, and the 04 of Galen Gidman as well. So Gary Bauer in the 07 machine, after running up front, is now dropped to about the 5th position as the 04 of Gidman having some electrical issues through 1 and 2.
The 07 going to settle in as he falls to what appears to be about the 7th place there, as right in front of him now Galen Gidman looks to the inside.
Yeah, they're discussing what's going on. Lots of shuffling. The 06 of Miller is in front of Gidman. Gidman going to try to get around on the inside here off of 2. This is the battle for that 5th position. You mentioned Gary Bauer dropping to 7th, all the way from the front of the field back to there. Going to try to get some momentum going as well. But the 04 and the 06 remain side by side, as the 04 of Gidman is gone. Now he's back, so continuing to deal with some electrical issues on his machine. The officials are talking to the team and possibly discussing a black flag because the 04 is causing some sort of hazards on the racetrack. Other than that, everybody trying to single file things out. Meanwhile, in all of this, it's going to be the 48 of Dallas Miracle. He's now sitting up atop the scoring pylon.
Dallas Miracle leader at 3/10 over second place Michael Churchman, then a 10th back to that 47 machine that we seen battling earlier, looking at 4/10 back. You know, Evan, with some of the electrical problems that we've mentioned, that really has to mess with the mindset of some of these drivers. Some of these drivers here, you see that truck blink out in front of you, or you know that he's blinking, and you know you may be faster, but you don't want to put a move on him for fear of where he might blink back in.
And definitely side-by-side battles all around the racetrack. Everybody trying to get themselves sorted out, but it looks like Michael Churchma is on a mission to go to the front, because that 3/10 of a second lead to Dallas Miracle has been cut down to about 2 car lengths. Just over 1/10 of a second down the back straightaway. Good corner exit by the 48 of Miracle, now going into 3. He is going to try to hang on to the number 1 spot, but that 88 truck looks very fast there in that second spot, trying to make it stick off 4 and make up some more time here, and it looks like he's going to do it. He is glued to the back upper, trying to get whatever he can on the 48. As the scoring updates this time by, he picked up about 200ths of a second.
200ths of a second, around 1.5 miles. Looking now on board with that 88, just seeing that rear bumper of Dallas Miracle, you know he is itching to see that bumper go backwards as he takes a peek inside there at 3.
Taking a look to the inside, trying to find a line that will get it done. Looked like the 48 maybe had to get off the gas a little bit on corner exit. However, Miracle going to barely extend his lead that time by the 88 of Churchma. Considered there, going to the inside in 1 and 2 as we have a slow car on the apron. They're still trying to figure that out. Number 47 of Don Stevenson started 5th. He's in this battle as well. These guys then have about a 4/10 of a second lead back to Nathan Sedlak, or from Dallas Miracle to about 9/10 back to the car in 4th. Then it's about 2.5 seconds all the way back to the 4th or the 5th place car. So really these top 4 guys trying to break away with this thing early.
Breaking away early over a long green flag run, if it stays green, could certainly help you, keeping in mind Churchma and Miracle both being drivers that are right there, ready to pounce on that top spot in the chase. Your chase leader, Dale Smalley, is currently sitting 19th, so they're gaining some points running up front here.
And definitely Dale Smalley, again, not taking a qualifying time. He finds himself in traffic back at the front of the pack. And now it's a 2-car breakaway, because Dallas Miracle and Michael Churchma have 1.5 seconds back to the 35 machine of Sedlak. So they are running away with this thing. These guys sitting 1 and 2 right now, but Churchma, look at the pounce. He is on that back bumper of the 48 this time, going through 3 and 4. We see the 88 maybe a little bit higher up on the racetrack, trying to find what he can. These trucks will change as that fuel burns off, combined with how the tires are going to wear with their setups and everything going on there. These guys look pretty even. I mean, we saw the 88 of Churchma close up to Miracle. Catching him is one thing, but passing him is a whole other story, because he really needs to assert that position and then hope that he can make it stick and battle hard if he wants to start knocking off some laps led here.
The fast way around this racetrack is on the bottom, and you can count on that, Evan. Dallas Miracle is not looking to give that spot up. He's looking to get everything he can on your second place chase contender Churchma, so that maybe if something would happen, he could be there to pounce, so that he takes that spot with only 2 races to go here, as them 2 trucks are going down the backstretch heading for 3, still about 1/10 and a quarter off of Churchma, still about 1/10 and a quarter off of Dallas.
Very interesting to look at what the championship standings would be if this race were to end at this point. Both Churchma and Miracle enter tonight tied for second in the championship standings, both 4 points back from Dale Smalley. I mentioned Dale Smalley, he is now in 18th. That would be pretty successful and a good night out, I do believe, for the 48 and the 88. So they must be keeping an eye on that in their back mind, knowing to maybe take a look on their relatives. And they don't see Dale Smalley anywhere in those 5 cars behind them, so they might take it a little bit easier, not take each other out, knowing what's on the line here with 3 races. I'm sure they'd love to walk out of here with a points lead, so you got to keep an eye on that factor as well, as it was exactly 0.2 of a difference between the 48 and the 88 that last time by the stripe. Currently working lap number 31 of 125, so once we get green flag laps going here, these laps really start to tick off.
Yeah, people start to get spread out, or drivers start to get spread out a little bit, and things kind of settle down. Not too much really going on, it looks like, anywhere around the track. Nice gaps, not really too wide at all. Your first battle for 2 wide appears like it's going to be around the 9th and 10th position with Gordon Berkey and, I'm sorry.
I think it's the 30 of Ross Cadeau, 1 spot back, 10th. He has company with the 78 of Michael Johnson.
There we go. Got my drivers mixed up for a minute. It happens. I mean, you're having such a blast up here in the tower, and you get tongue-tied, and you know, it's so much fun. But yeah, that appears to be where most of the action is now. The whole swarm of trucks that's going to be behind them. The first truck behind them there looks like it's going to be in around Michael Whitlock in the 64 at 12th, and Jacob Nye in the 25, a newcomer to this series, kind of late in the season, but he started back in the pack a little bit, running 13th now.
There's a herd of cars from there on back. Lots of side-by-side battles. The most important one is the 69 of Dale Smalley is going to pick up another spot as he gets around the 1 of Everett Lane. So Smalley 18th last time by the stripe. This time when scoring updates, up to 16th. So the 69 machine starting his charge. He did not have an overly fast car. He was 26th fastest in the practice session, so it's not like the 69 machine has an incredibly fast car, but he may have found something, and maybe his strategy is starting to work out for him as he is approaching the top 15 behind them. I did see a side-by-side battle. It's still going on. The 18 of Jay Anderson continuing to fall, as the 90 of Mark McFadden going to get around him as well. So Jay Anderson is going to go all the way from 4th where he started, currently sitting outside of the top 20 in 22nd spot.
That's a rough spot for that 18 machine of Jay. I know he's a competitive guy, and he would certainly love to be up front there running with Miracle, Churchma, and Sedlak. But it seems that something isn't either coming in for that 18 truck, or you know, maybe he's kind of setting back a little bit and just wait until the laps wind down. Maybe that's what Dale Smalley was doing too. He figured he'd take the more conservative approach and say, hey, let me start in the back, see kind of how things go, and when the time's ready, maybe I'll start to head up front.
Got another side-by-side battle brewing for the 18th spot. The 1 of Everett Lane is going to try to hold off the 61 machine on the inside lane. Looks like Everett Lane going to slide back in the number 1 car, so the 61's going to get on by him as well. Dale Smalley going to pick up another spot on that lap, so he is up to 14th. So that 69 machine, he's really moving forward now in the top 15, and he's looking for more. 3 cars that are real close together. The 64 of Michael Whitlock is right in the middle of that. This is going on about mid-pack. 1 car behind him that looks like he wants to get the spot. Travis Brown as they're coming up on the 30 of Ross Cato. Looking like to make it side-by-side as 30 is going to open up the inside lane, and there goes Whitlock side-by-side in 1.
Side-by-side in the 1. The battle still continues as they come off a 2 heading down the backstretch. These trucks are really freed up, as to say. You know, it helps them get through the corners better being side-by-side like that, as you now see Whitlock gain a little bit going into 2, as he might have the advantage here at the stripe, or not Whitlock, is that?
I do believe it is the 64 Whitlock. He's on the inside, and then the 30 of Cato is on the outside. And then we see the 33 Travis Brown looking to make it 3 wide. Now they're going to go 2 wide because I do believe Cato has cleared them. So now we're side by side behind them with the 33 of Travis Brown. However, I do believe the 64 just shut that door going into 3. Now he's looking on the 30 again.
A good battle here for that 11th position as the 64 of Michael Whitlock is taken to the inside of the 30 machine of Ross Cato. Ross having a little bit of an advantage in one. It looks like he might lose it coming off of 2 here as the 64 gets a good pull down that backstretch.
They're going to go side by side now, going into turn number 3, the 30 on the outside. Trying to keep the nose there. He can't do it. The 64 is going to slide up in spot, and Michael Whitlock now going to go to P11. He's going to throw a block on, trying to protect the inside lane. The 30 of Cato is going to get right up on his back bumper and let him know that he's there. The 33 of Brown almost looked to the inside on the 30 of Cato. He's going to back off for now. That could have been close because the 30 was not looking in that rear view mirror. He is trying to get back around now. Michael Whitlock looking to the outside. He's going to get blocked there as well. So the 64 running the defensive line, trying to hang on to P11.
Maybe not a position for any kind of cash to be dealt out in that 11th spot, but 10th is going to be that last spot. Now as we go to the 61 of John Pansuto, a little further back, he's going to be fighting with the 86 machine of Eric Sharp.
Definitely the 61 of Pansuto going to try to get around him. The 86 of Eric Sharp on the top lane. He's not quite cleared him, but the 60... he's holding a nose in there. 61 can't get it there. The 86 machine still getting there. Coming off 4, he's going to get it. So 61 of John Pansulo is going to get around the 86 machine of Eric Sharp. That it appears that 61 truck has gained a couple of spots these last 2 laps. He now finds himself in the 15th position. So good job by him in doing so. Meanwhile, one car is up in the outside wall. The 79 of Joel Wood. Trouble in 1 and 2. That was a close call. He got up into the outside wall. They're going to hang on for now. But that was a close call right around the 07 of Gary Bauer. Remember, he started on the pole. He's 26th, 1 lap down.
Don't look now, but the battle is on for the lead. As we go to the replay now of the 79, Joel Wood into the wall.
I think those guys might have been spooked by that race car coming up out the pit lane. Got awfully close to that white line. And you mentioned the fastest way around this racetrack, you want to hug that line, so might have got these guys a little bit nervous when they were making their corner entry and saw a car there. So that could have been the cause of that, but they kept it pointed the right way, and we're still under the green flag. You mentioned the battle on for the lead. Michael Churchman, the 88. He was there on the back bumper. They were actually side by side. Now starting to clear him a little bit now as a miracle. Looks like they did a crossover in 3 and 4, and there was contact with the 88 getting into the left rear, almost to the 88 of Churchman. Got out of the gas to avoid spinning him, but evidently losing some time that he made up. So now he finds himself 0.5 of a second back, and he has to make all that back up.
Making it back up, he did it once. He can certainly do it again. We're going to keep an eye on that. As these guys are coming across the stripe here, your leader, Dallas Miracle, is going to take it. Churchman is running second down through the rest of your top 5. Nathan Sedlak in the 35, now set in 30. He's going to be 4.5 seconds back. Daniel Miller in the 06. David Wink in the 20s going around out your top 5 as they run.
Taking a look, 2 guys going bumper to bumper. The battle is on for 3rd with the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. The 06 of Daniel Miller going to go to the inside this time in 3 and 4. The 06 machine trying to make it work, and he does in one corner. He gets the job done, so move Daniel Miller into the top 3. And now we find the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. He did good. That truck qualified 9th. He's currently sitting now 4th after the 06 machine got around him. Everybody else looking pretty much single file throughout the field. Some drivers with damage. The 25 car of Jacob Nye is going to come down the pit lane. Looking like he had some damage on that truck coming down, possibly to service that, or he was having some sort of electrical issues. It does appear that he's having some trouble with the server. But he is down the pit lane for 4 tires and fuel.
You mentioned about the 06 machine of Daniel Miller making that pass on Nathan Sedlak in one turn. that's certainly the way you want to do it. Make that pass quick and continue to truck forward.
We're hearing a car in the wall in turns number 1 and 2, trying to get a number on him. Caution flag and now out, so we're going to go into our second caution of the night, as I do believe it was trying to take a number on that race car. The 00 of James Brown was in the outside wall. Looks like he had some help maybe with the 86 machine was behind him. No, just looks like the 00 had something go wrong in that truck and went up the track into the wall, and he came down in front of traffic and nailed the number 1 car of Everett Lane, and Everett Lane's car is torn up.
Well, that's a tough break for Everett. You know, being there, I mean, it's just a case of wrong place at the wrong time. But these trucks here, when they get pasted to that wall like you see, you kind of have to give them, you got to muscle them a little bit to pull them off. But you certainly want to keep mind of where the other drivers are, where the other drivers are coming. That's a tough break for the 1 and the 00 of James Brown.
And definitely taking a look, Everett D. Lane got the right side of his car smashed. He probably has some internal damage. Doesn't look that bad, but we won't know the extent of it until we see him down on the pit lane, as he's going to come down to service that for repairs. So everybody looking like they're going to come down pit lane. A little bit of a mixed schedule as our leaders still trying to get doubled up, and they are now down on the pit lane, led by the 88 of Churchma. And they're going to come down and get some fresh tires on these bad boys, fill them back up, and go back at it.
Your leader on pit road, taking the 45-mile-an-hour trip, he is going to pull into his pit box. You're looking at the right side up in the air now for your leader. Right side's going on. Will it be a 4-tire stop? Will it be a 2-tire stop? Now the left side's up in the air as the 1 truck pulls out. It looks like a couple other trucks are going to get out. The 06 of Daniel Miller is out before your leader.
In more trouble, I'm sure if there's oil on the track, but the 07 of Gary Bauer also just drove straight into the turn 3 wall after, again, starting on the pole. So that was very strange. 2 cars, one goes into turn 1, one goes into turn 3. They don't really turn, go straight into the wall, and we're under our second caution flag of the night. But it gives us a chance to regroup. But a strange caution for sure, going to put us under our second caution flag of the night.
Kind of let some of these nerves unsettle. Both for myself being in the tower. Boy, this is exciting up here. You know, seeing these 2-car battles or 2 truck battles go on side by side, really all through the field. I'm kind of keeping my eye on that 69 machine of Dale Smalley to kind of see how he's working up through the field right now. He's going to be sitting in the 13th position. Churchma is going to continue to be your leader, I believe. It may be Daniel Miller. Do we know if he took tires?
Going to take a look back to see if that 06 machine took tires when he came down the pit lane. It was indeed a 2-tire stop for the 06 of Daniel Miller.
Going to be interesting to see how that holds up. I know if I'm in these trucks, I certainly want 4 tires. I mean, guys build setups different ways, and you know, it all depends on your setup and how you kind of like the drive to the truck to work or the drive to work.
We have the 06 Daniel Miller coming down the pit lane, a 2-tire stop, throwing a curveball into this. Not sure how well that's going to hang on. When you take a look, again when he came down the pit lane. I'm only seeing 2 tires on the 06 machine. Going to try to get clarification on that, but see him come down to his stall. Right sides go up. He waits for about 2 more seconds and takes off. He is evidently going to be shown up at the front of the field in front of the 88 of Michael Churchma. Race officials are going to wave off the green flag here, so we're going to have at least 1 more lap of pacing to make sure that everybody gets in their proper positions, as there was a lot of shuffling down the pit lane as everybody was confused against several cars in the wall all over the racetrack. The scoring needs to be updated, but we will get back to the green flag racing here shortly.
Hopefully so here. And, you know, these races have certainly been interesting. And Evan, going into the chase, I know you've been doing this broadcasting a lot longer than I have, but going into the chase, you know, it is for me just as exciting watching these guys as it is actually being in the truck and behind the wheel. Evan, what do you think?
It's when we're doing these broadcasts, we're also discussing the races as fans. We like watching the races. It's exciting. And when you have a track car such as we have in the Cora, the Championship Online Racing Association, the way that they mix different tracks with different cars week in and week out, it makes our job a lot easier because we just talk about what's happening. If we go to a track where everybody gets single file by 5 seconds, it's going to be boring, but these guys put on a show week in and week out, and it makes it a lot more fun to do this.
Me being a part of a couple of them races that you mentioned, Watkins Glen out there, I was a part of, and I believe there was another one that I was a part of. I can't remember right now, but anyhow, back to green flag racing, and Evan, I'll turn it over to you.
We're doubled up. The pace car is down the pit lane. The green flag is out, and they're on the loud pedal. The 06 of Miller's going to get the jump. The 88 of Churchman looked like he had a better start, but maybe had to get on the brakes, not beat the 06 to the start-finish line. So side by side for first. Churchman's going to slip down there to the inside lane and hold on to second. Now the one car going backwards, the 67 of Ben Manning, he's going to get left on the top by both the 20 machine and the 35. As now Sedlak looks to the inside of Wank in 3. Going to hang off for now. Single file top 4 and side by side 5th on back.
The side-by-side battle being the 35 for Nathan Sedlak and the 81 of Colton Berkey down on that inside. A little dice up behind him. Looks like we're maybe checking on 3 wide. At least somebody was thinking about it back there in about 8 and 9.
And look who has made an appearance up at the front of the field. Dale Smalley is in 12th, just to keep tabs on him. Side by side with the 78 machine of Michael Johnson on the inside, with the 48 of Dallas Miracle, giving him some encouragement on the back bumper of that car. They are going to get around the 67 machine of Ben Manning. Manning on the top, you mentioned that's not the preferred lane, and that's why he keeps losing spots as the 48 clears him. 81 Colton Berkey can't quite keep the nose there, and it is going to allow him to pull back down in line and hang on to his position. Side by side up front now is Churchma to the inside of the 06 of Miller in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Miller washed up that last time there through 1 and 2, and it opened up the door for that 88 machine. Remember, Daniel Miller only taking 2 tires that last pit stop. I'm not sure if that's going to hurt him just yet, but Churchma, I believe, took 4. And 4 tires at this track will certainly prevail over 2 any day of the week, not just Sunday. As we look now, them trucks are still going to be side by side into 3, with Churchma having the preferred line down on that inside, but Daniel Miller is holding his own up on the top.
I'm not sure if we can get clarification, but I checked the replay on my simulator, and I saw very clearly a 2-tire stop for the 06. Producer, camera operator Laura Lawson in the production hauler saying that he took 4. So that would make more sense if he took 4, but I really did not see that left side of the truck go up, so still trying to get tabs on that. But if he does have 2 tires, he's doing a hell of a job of keeping up there, as Churchma evidently getting by the lead. How about the 20 machine of Wank sliding up the hill, and he's going to open up the door for Sedlak. So Sedlak, we're going to go side by side, and the officials are going to throw the hammer, and the number 1 machine of Everett Lane is going to be black flagged for improperly taking that restart down there at the back of the pack. Another
tough break for the one of Everett Lane. A couple laps ago, remember, he was also involved with that incident as the 000 of James Brown had got into the wall, getting some right side damage on that machine. Right now, your battle is going to be on what appears to be for that 6th position. Looking at Michael Johnson in that 78 machine, And then Colton Berkey coming also, putting...
I know the 17 of Gordon Berkey's going to slide up the hill and get into the door of the 78 machine of Michael Johnson. Johnson on the top lane. Remember, Johnson almost came down and took out the 81 of Colton Berkey, which made him lose his rhythm, which allowed the 17 to get up next to him. So after almost getting into Colton Berkey, Gordon Berkey pushing up the hill and getting into the 78 as well. They're still side by side through one and off two. You're going to see the big run by the 78 on the top lane. Going to get a nose out in front of the 17 of Gordon Berkey, but Berkey on the inside lane trying to hang on. He has the preferred lane, but the 78 is hanging tough on the top lane. He's actually going to have the advantage this time by the stripe, and they're side by side behind them as well with the 33 of Travis Brown and the 30 of Ross Cato as Johnson clears Berkey on the top.
A big, strong push on that top side. We said it before, the top lane is not really the preferred lane, but guys will build these setups exactly how they like them, and if they like to run them around the top or the middle, that's where they're going to be. As the 69 of Dale Smalley was looking just for a second to the inside of the 30 machine there to Ross Cato down the backstretch, and Dale Smalley, your championship leader in 12th, is still looking for a way around that 30 to pull it into the top 10.
Yeah, the 30 was looking to go to the inside on the 33 of Brown in front of him and almost kind of chopped off the run that the 69 of Dale Smalley had. And that's a real quick way to find both the guys in the fence. Luckily, they were able to hang on, and the 30 machine of Cato quickly over the radio to apologize to Smalley. We have a little bit of bump drafting going on the front straightaway. The 20 of David Wink is getting a little bit of a boost from behind him, as I do believe it was the 67 of Ben Manning that was pushing him all the way through that quaddle. Well, those guys positions 6 on. Back side by side now. The 17 of Gordon Berkey finds himself at a madhouse again because the 33 of Travis Brown is on his inside, and now Dale Smalley on the inside of the 30 of Cato as well in 3 and 4. The 30 has to check up for a slow Gordon Berkey on the top lane, which is going to allow the 33 of Travis Brown to get through, and now the 69 of Dale Smalley is going to try to capitalize on this as well. He's going to go side by side with the 17 and 1.
Side by side is your championship leader, Dale Smalley, to the inside of the 17 of Gordon Berkey. Behind them, it's going to be the 61 of John Pansula looking to the inside of the 30 of Ross Cato.
Dale Smalley trying to slide up, almost gets into the 17. Now the 17 of Gordon Berkey in the wall. Several guys in the grass trying to avoid him. It looks like we're going to stay pointed the right way. For now, Dale Smalley pushing up the racetrack a little bit, trying to clear Gordon Berkey. Berkey getting on the brakes to avoid getting into Smalley, and now Gordon Berkey going to go all the way to the back of the lead lap. Tough break for him, but he definitely did not want to turn our championship leader. Battling continuing to go on all over the racetrack right now, looking like a side-by-side battle. Is not too far away from us between the 20 of David Wink, and now there he goes. It is the 67 of Ben Manning to the inside on those two. They're going to go side-by-side at 1 and 2, battling for 5th.
That battle of 5th there with the 20 of David Wink on the outside, one of them Storm Motorsports guys. His teammate still up front and still dominating for the most part, Michael Churchman in the 88, with Daniel Miller in the 06 being a 10th behind him, as the 20 is now going to fall a little further back, and the 81 of Colton Berkey is going to capitalize on that 5th position.
Side by side back in the pack, the 86 of Eric Sharp is going to lose 14th spot to the 32 machine of Ryan Borges. Borges now on the back bumper of, I do believe it is, the 64 of Michael Whitlock. They're going to go side by side down the backstretch, and now in 3 and 4. 64 not really giving him the most room in the world. The 32 of Ryan Borges on the inside trying to hang on to that spot, but it looks like Whitlock is going to hang on off 4 and hang on to that spot. The top 4 drivers are pretty much now bumper to bumper. That's Churchman, Miller, Sedlak, and Miracle up front.
Interesting to see what these guys are going to do. Churchman is certainly going to be looking to hold that top spot, to pull every possible 10th of a point he can on your championship leader, Dale Smalley. The 06 kind of falling in line, followed by the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. It looks like these trucks may or may not be looking for a position and looking to take the lead away from that 88 machine.
The 88 of Churchman, he's defending that number 1 spot for the time being, but the 06 of Miller is definitely applying the pressure. And you gotta think, is the 88 holding these guys up? Because these top 4 are bumper to bumper. The only way you can really stack up is if the guy that leading that group of cars is the slightest bit slower. And we've seen that before tonight in the battle for the lead, that even if the guy in second place is faster, if he can't get to the lane that he wants to make the pass, he's just got to ride in line, try to force an error, and then try to capitalize on the mistake.
Caution on the raceway now, as we're getting word that the 45 of Kerry Cleaver had some trouble. Looks like it's going to be off of 4, as he may or may not have gotten a bump from who?
Yeah, it was in Ford, and looks like maybe a little bit of prediction code or net code. They were close, but I don't think it was warranted of contact. But the 45 evidently going to go around, locked it up into the outside wall, spinning, and ends up in the grass. And again, nobody else involved, so that's the positive. However, we're going to group them back up, and we're going to see another one of these wild restarts here as we have passed the halfway point in this race. So we're on the downhill slope of things, and we're really starting to see this field start to shape out and try to identify who the checkered flag contenders are going to be here tonight.
Yeah, checkered flag contenders right now, if I had to make a call, I would say that 88 machine of Churchman. He's looking really good. He's been up front. He had qualified 3rd in practice. He was 3rd fastest, as you see it rolling down pit road now. But if I had to make a call, I think that 88 machine of Churchman is going to be the truck that everybody's going to be chasing coming 1 to go.
Churchman's got about a 4 truck length lead over Miller down the pit lane, so that should help him be able to hang on to the number 1 spot once they exit the pit lane. Taking a look at Churchman and Miller, trying to make sure we know what's going on. Now I do see the left side going up on Daniel Miller this time, so he's going to take 4 tires as well for Churchman, and going to exit off of the pit lane. But I do believe we may have had some 2-tire strategy. Ryan Borges in the 32 left pit lane, and actually he missed his pit stall. So coming in 11th, tough break for Ryan Borges, going to go out, and he's going to have to come back around and go all the way to the back of the lead lap.
I think he was running in around there, in or around the 11th position when this caution had come out. Paying out through the top 10 positions is the way that Cora runs it, with 2 other positions being paid out for what Cora affectionately calls the Boy Scout Awards. And it's going to be interesting to see now if that 32 machine can make it back up into one of them spots for a small payout.
And definitely, for sure, everybody now back out on the racetrack. We're running around single file right now. We're going to be going green here in about 2, maybe 3 laps here to go back under the green flag conditions. We're getting 2 to green this time by the start-finish line, so we'll see the lights come off next time around. And we will take the green flag on lap number 77. 125 laps scheduled in tonight's race, which leaves just below 50. We can easily go green to the checkered flag. That would about equal the longest green flag run that we've seen so far tonight, this most previous one. However, when it comes down to it and the way these trucks handle on this track, I don't think we're done with that yellow flag, because it's going to get wild here as these laps continue to tick down.
You said it at the beginning of the broadcast, Evan, possibly better than I could have even said it myself being a driver. These trucks want to go every way but straight. And, when you have a truck when you have a race vehicle that handles like that, it's hard to get setups in, and it's hard to keep the wheels underneath the thing. So, I have to agree with you. I don't think the cautions are over. And if we would happen to have a late race caution, you can be sure that these guys are going to be putting the doors to one another, putting the bumpers to one another, in hopes of getting that payout for finishing in the top spot.
And definitely, we mentioned, that rear end's going to slip out on you, and it can catch you off guard. And when we see these laps continue to wind down, maybe they're not going to back off from that 3 wide. Maybe they're going to force the issue on a 2 wide. Maybe they're going to get close door to door in that quad oval. There's so many things that can end up finding you in the inside wall, and that's one of the things about racing is you can have a stellar night out of 125 laps, run 115 at the number 1 spot. But if you're in the inside wall at the end of the night, you're not going to walk away with any points. We have to also keep in mind the championship picture. Dale Smalley has done a good job from coming from the back of the pack, but he still finds himself 11th. Michael Churchma sitting right now in 1st, and then Dallas Miracle, the other driver that's tied for the 2nd spot going into tonight's race, he is sitting in 3rd. So if the race were to end right now, Smalley would not have the points lead out of this track.
Thinking maybe Smalley just had an off week, or whether it be by master planning that he wanted to start in the back and kind of work his way up through the traffic methodically to get to that front spot, or whether it was something mechanical or setup wise that caused him to start back there. Churchma having that top spot, as you said, Evan, if it were to end now, he would certainly keep it, and I know that'd make Churchma happy.
It never hurts to go into the final 2 races with the points lead. We're doubled up, and we're looking for the green flag as the lights are off on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car up at the front of the field, down to the pit lane, and Churchma going to be leading us to the green flag this time by. He's going to wait, he's on the loud pedal, and we're back green flag racing. The 06 of Daniel Miller easily going to slide in to hang on to 2nd, so it's going to be a battle for the 3rd spot right now. The 48 of Dallas Miracle with the advantage. He's going to hang on to it over Sedlak. Meanwhile, all the way back around mid-pack there, we're starting to see the 2 wide battles continue with the 78 of Michael Johnson in 7th place. He's trying to get around the 20 of David Wink.
I believe it's going to be Johnson on the outside in that 70 machine. He is going to clear him through 3 and 4. Can he get down in front of that 20 machine? Yes, he does. So he's going to tuck it in single file, securing that 7th place position as they cross the stripe and head for 1.
Battle up front is on Michael Churchma. About a car length, the 2 car lengths back to Daniel Miller, and then behind them it is bumper to bumper single file traffic. So if you make any sort of mistake right now in these top 5, top 10 race cars, you're going to lose a lot of spots, and you can spend about 25 laps under the green flag to pick up 3 spots, and you can lose them in a turn. And now Miller is on the back bumper of Churchman.
As the trucks head into 1, you are looking at the 48 machine of Dallas Miracle flirting with that rear end of the 06 of Daniel Miller. He wants to get by. Daniel still tucking that machine up underneath the 88 machine of Churchman, your leader.
And definitely Miller, he's there. Is he going to look to the inside this time in 3? Not quite yet. You talked about the 48 of Miracle. Miracle sitting in 3rd right now. He's thinking about when he wants to go on the 06, trying to get that run off the corner that will set that up for him. We have a black flag on the 32 of Ryan Borges for switching lanes before or on that restart. So that's the same incident that we saw with Everett Lane. So he's going to have to make a pass down the pit lane here within these next 2 laps here to serve that penalty. Another tough break for one of these guys that have remained in the top of the race, pretty much the entire race, on the lead lap. Remember, we had 29 guys come to take the green flag. Still 21 of them are on the lead lap. Any wreck that we've seen so far has really only involved 1 or 2 cars. And now we're looking to try to get a green flag run to the end, but they are going at it, those top 3, still bumper to bumper.
Still bumper to bumper they are, as I'm looking at the 48 of Dallas Miracle in 3rd now, trying, I think, to put a move on that 06 of Daniel Miller. If he does, that'll put the battle for 2nd 2 wide, and it may open up a little bit of a window for Churchma in that 88 machine to check out just a tad. When these trucks get running side by side, your single file lane will move quicker. You're a little more cautious being door to door with somebody, which will slow your lap times down. Daniel Miller now appears to be back up on that bumper of Churchma for the top spot.
They are there. It all depends on when they want to make that move. Maybe a side-by-side back around 5th. Ben Manning has company. The 81 of Colton Berkey is trying to get there to the inside. Can't get it done. Manning is going to shut the door. That was a great move by Berkey. Berkey was still about a half of a truck length off to the back bumper of Manning there. And he stuck it to the inside, and Manning gave him the room. Manning gave him the room on corner entry, and that was a trick by Berkey to try to convince Manning that he was there. Unfortunately, couldn't back it up and make the pass in 3. But a smart move by the 81, and now it's the top 4 bumper to bumper because here comes Nathan Sedlak, and now they're making contact up front. Daniel Miller giving Churchma a shot going into 3, trying to force him up the hill, and he's going to look to the inside off 4. He's going to make contact in the 06. The Miller's going to get spun by Dallas Miracle, and the caution's out.
It was only a matter of time. We've been sitting here, Evan, saying how long these guys have been running nose to tail. Something had to give, and it appears like it's only going to be a one-car incident at this time as the pace car is coming down the backstretch to pick up the field. Man, I can't get over how exciting this is. This is a great race these guys are putting on every week for Cora here. And I can't thank the officials enough, the Cora board members. This is fun.
It's only going to pick up. That we saw that going for a second. We saw that he gave Churchma a shot going into 3, tried to force him up the hill, and then they looked to the inside. However, they gave the 48 machine a Miracle over on 2. Miracle just could not get up the track in time to try to get to the outside lane. If he checked up, I'm sure the 35 of Sedlak would have been in his bumper because they only had about a half of a foot in between each other. And at the end of it, the 06 machine around in the grass, he locks it up, keeps it out of the outside wall, and keeps it out of anybody else. So again, another single car wreck, but that's only going to group them up even more, and that sends a message to Churchma up there, knowing that these guys behind him aren't just going to let him take this win and roll over, as we are now working lap 86 under this caution flag. So inside now, or exactly on, I do believe we are 40 laps to go, and we find ourselves under the caution flag again.
Your leader, Michael Churchma, opting not to pit that time by, and along with a couple other vehicles here, it appears the 64 of Whitlock may not have pitted also. And Daniel Miller setting in that 06 machine. He is right now on the track setting in 3rd. I don't know if anything will come of it, but it'll certainly be interesting.
And I do believe we do have the 69 machine of Dale Smalley on the radio. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Dale, we saw you start at the back of the pack. Did you not take a qualifying time by choice, or did you have some trouble on that lap?
Nah, I brushed the wall just a little bit, so it didn't give me no time. So just kind of got to make the best of what I got now.
And definitely we're seeing you around the tail end of the lead lap. There's still a lot of racing to go tonight. How have you made your way through the field, and how do you think you're going to be able to go here to the checkered flag and try to contend for a solid finish, knowing that those guys in second in the championship standings are in front of you right now?
Yeah, I'm just trying to bide my time, let everything kind of thin out, and then pass them as I get to them. Hopefully they'll burn up the tires quick.
And definitely, well, thanks for stopping in with us and letting us know what's going on, and good luck here to the checkered flag.
Yeah, thanks for having me up.
So, Marcus, that's what our championship leader has to say, having some trouble in the qualifying, so nothing by his own choice. And he now needs to find his way up, because, again, the way they run right now, he is not going to leave tonight with the points lead. However, Dallas Miracle has slipped to 6th, but Churchma is still sitting in that number 1 spot.
I said it a couple laps ago, well, maybe more than a couple now. All these laps are running together for me. You know, if anybody's going to put a stellar show on, it's going to be Churchma in that 88. His truck looks really good. It looks like it's handling good, and you know, it's, you know, as far as Miracle goes, he's going to have some work cut out for him here, looking at 5 positions to gain. We've seen some trucks make some passes on the outside. I don't know, maybe if that's Dallas's slice of pie, if you will, but it'll be interesting here to see how he navigates now that his truck's back in traffic a little bit. I don't know if it's the furthest that we've seen him back, but certainly back in traffic and a couple trucks ahead of you. All it takes is one slip up, and a bad pit stop or something that puts you back into the field could certainly prove to be the end of the night for a number of drivers, not just yourself.
And definitely, well, we are doubled up. The field is working through 1 and 2. So again, we're going to come to take the green flag on lap number 89 of laps 125. The intensity is only going to continue to pick up. 21 cars remain on the lead lap when it's all said and done. The race car that having the most issues, again, out of that last issue there, Daniel Miller, up at the front of the pack. Everyone's trying to get themselves sorted out here. Doubled up. We're looking for the green flag, and I'm looking forward to this because the intensity is growing. The lights are off on the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car up at the front of the field. And let's see how this thing works out as the 88 of Churchma on the front, but Michael Whitlock is going to be starting P2.
There's a guy we haven't seen up front in a while. Opted not to pit that time by, as these leaders are now getting the green flag. Churchman with a really big jump. That's going to allow the 06 of Daniel Miller to capitalize on the second spot. With your 64 truck of Michael Whitlock falling to third. Your battle's on for fifth in the 1.
It looked like a combination of getting caught sleeping and maybe, just maybe, having a little bit older tires, because now third place is up for grabs, and Ben Manning is going to get that going on the inside down the back straightaway. Whitlock had to throw something into this to try to get that spot and try to get a better finishing position. Not able to hang on. He's going to start to slide back slowly. He hopes that their tires even out once these other guys get heat back in their tires. Trying to get in line. He's going to slide in there. Not a lot of room, but he does it. David White caught him a little bit of a break. Tried to go for a crossover. Whitlock, that's going to slow him down at 1 and 2. And all these guys behind him got to keep him watching out. And then 20 machine is checking up now as they're going to try to do this now. The 20 of Wank on the top, trying to get around this car, but he's running about the middle line, so they can't get around him.
The middle line could possibly be the most defensive spot, blocking that inside line and the outside line. You really don't want to make a hole with these trucks running as loose as they are. Some other vehicles it may be possible, but it doesn't end too well. Right now it looks like the 20 machine of Michael Wink is on the inside of Michael Whitlock as they head into 3.
35 is going to go by him. That is Sedlak. The 81 of Colton Berkey going to go to the inside as well. So the 64 of Whitlock just cannot hang on any longer. Almost comes down and cuts off Colton Berkey. Berkey cuts him a break in the 84, or the 64 rather, of Whitlock is back in line. But considering the fact that he doesn't have the strongest race car, he is making some very interesting moves here as the 81 of Colton Berkey tries to go to the inside. 84 is not going to budge an inch. He is continuing to run the defensive line, but here's something that we've seen before. We're bumper to bumper for the lead.
Daniel Miller in the 06 with Michael Churchman in the 88. Daniel Miller getting the good jump, not sleeping at all on that restart, pulling past the 64 of Michael Whitlock before he started falling. And these drivers are interesting to see how they run here as we go on board now with the 06 of Daniel Miller, getting that truck in position, checking to the inside, maybe thinks better of it with that grass being down there. And these guys are a lot of fun to watch. Battles all over the racetrack.
There's about a car length that separates drivers right now. Positions number 1 and 2. He's there, the 06 of Miller, but he's not looking to the inside yet. Is he trying to force an error on the 88? Because it doesn't look like he wants to, force it, because he doesn't want to take them both out. He knows, and he saw what happened there, that brought up the second caution speed, maybe a little bit too over-aggressive. They're going for it, but I think the 06 of Miller is taking a little bit of a more calm approach to this, as most people would, because I think he's had the opportunity to really force it, throw it down there on the inside and see what happens several times. this time again, like he could have stuck the nose down there, but it looked like he might have backed off a little bit. As they do this, they're pulling away a little bit. They have about a half of a second lead over the car in third. So it looks like they're going to try to run away with it and then battle for the lead, as it looks like, oh, and a big wreck down.
Trouble as the 20 machine of David Wink goes around now, also collecting a couple other trucks. 3, 4, 5 trucks are going to take damage here before the start-finish line. Now we're hearing there may be trouble in turn 1.
I do believe there's, more trouble now. They're wrecking in turn 1. One car slid through the grass trying to avoid that, came up and took somebody else out, and I guess it is our equivalency of the big one, but they piled them in there going into 3. It all started with one truck going around way in front of these guys. These guys were so far back, the 20 got turned by the 35 of Nathan Sedlak. 20 was in the wall, but unlike everybody else, he didn't have anywhere to go. He tried to keep it up on the outside wall. Lots of people got by him, but he bounced up in front of the track, got hit by one, and all those guys that were way back there at the back just piled into it. Taking a look, one car getting involved in that as well. It looks like the 11 machine of Edward Smith just didn't have brakes and just kind of drove right into that. But several cars are going to get taken out of that incident from about mid-pack to the back of the pack. And again, we're going to group them up, and there's even less laps now, currently working lap 97, so just over 25 to go.
You know, with that second pack of cars that caught the 20 machine there of Wink as he was setting on the front straight, it kind of makes you wonder where their spotters were. Maybe grabbing beer and pizza from one of the stands or something, forgot we went green flag racing. But yeah, Daniel Miller is still holding the second spot from your leader, Michael Churchma, and into third now is going to be the 67 of Ben Manning.
And again, now 20 cars on the lead lap. The 20 machine of David Wink, the pit lane. And I do believe that crew decided that they could not do the repairs required, and he is now behind the garage, whether it's permanently or just for the time being. Actually, now he's back on the pit lane, so the crew bought it back there and looking to get the 20 back out on the track. Meanwhile, the light's still on the pace car, working under the caution flag again. And again, Marcus, it seems to be the same old song and dance that cautions breed cautions, and maybe we haven't won early on in the race. We have a green flag run, but when it comes down to the end, we've seen that the majority of the wrecks have involved somebody running in the top 5. So there's really nowhere safe on the racetrack. And I know that the 88 of Churchman's got a big bullet on his back bumper, and the 06 of Miller, I think he has a car to get it done. He's just waiting for the right time to do it.
Yeah, here in about 5-6 laps, you're going to be looking at right around 30 to go, or I'm sorry, 20 to go. And, you know, these guys, they know that the clock's ticking down. They know the laps are ticking down. And although I don't believe Daniel Miller is within shot of taking the top spot through this chase as far as the championship is concerned, you know Michael Churchman's sitting up there. Palms are probably sweating, and he's watching the 06 in his mirror, certainly doing everything he can to hold that position to keep Dale Smalley, maybe keep Dale Smalley from getting yet a third consecutive championship with the Cora Series.
Yeah, that's the goal for everybody. Is it's one thing, you know, having a target on your back, but he's probably got about 3 of them now. And you take a look at his car, 69 of Dale Smalley, he's got a big old trophy on that flatbed of it, just to remind everybody who's been up at top. So I'm sure Churchma, if it comes down to it, I'm sure that he'd rather give the 06 the win than get wrecked racing for it. But he definitely wants that checkered flag, because that'll get him just a couple more points. And when we go into Talladega in the last race, it's anybody's game. And those could be the deciding points that determine the champion.
Yeah, it's, you know, this race, if it were to end now, this race would certainly shake things up in them top couple spots. But the pace the pace car's lights are off here. We're going to go side by side. Half a lap to go until we're green flag racing again. And as much as I'd like to see it go green, I don't know if we're quite done with these cautions yet, Evan.
I would be very surprised if we have seen all of the caution flags that we will for tonight's race, because the intensity is picking up and the laps are winding down, and that is a lethal combination for a race car driver when he's sitting there. If you're a guy in the third row, you can see the number one spot. It's within reach, but you got to do something to get in, and we're going to find out who is going to make that move, because we are doubled up. The lights are off and aboard First Racing Mustang pace car, and as we work through 3 and off 4, the pace cars on the pit lane. Churchman's going to lead us to the flag. He has a 67 of Banning on his bumper. They're off. The green flag back out. We're going to stay side by side for a second as they shuffle back there about mid-pack, and Miller is going to slide in line and get down behind the 88.
Those two trucks, 1 and 2, Churchma and Miller, we've seen it the last couple of laps be like this. When is Miller going to make his move, as we just started counting lap 100? Next time by will be 25 to go. Now looking at the 67 of Ben Manning, he's going to pull up to the bumper of the 06 with the 35 of Sedlak on his rear bumper, and the 81 of Colton Berkey rounding out the top 5 on his rear bumper.
It's very possible that anybody in this top 5 can go home with it again. You can spend 30 laps under the green flag to make up 2 spots. You have 1 wiggle. In this scenario right here in the top 5, you can lose 4 of them. So they really got to be careful on what they want to do. The 67 of Manning in third, taking a look what he wants to do on Miller. Those guys behind him, these top 5 are bumper to bumper within half of a second of each other. They have about 4/10 to the 6th place car, the 64 of Whitlock. Whitlock has company as a 30 of Cadeau on his inside, or Cato rather. That was close there in 1 and 2 now, as the 64 Whitlock's going to go up the track, and now the 78 of Michael Johnson wants to help Ross Cadeau in the 30 car on the inside.
Ross Cato on the inside of the 64 of Michael Whitlock as they come through 3 and 4. Still going to be pretty quiet there. The laps are ticking down, but I'm not sure how long it's going to be. Now we are hearing possibly the 48 getting a black flag.
Big championship implications here. We do believe the 48 of Dallas Miracle, who's now running side by side with Il Smalley, looking to make up points tonight, is going to receive a black flag. There it is from the race officials for changing lanes before the restart. Wow.
That's not really a mistake you want to make when you are in contention for a championship, especially sitting as close as he was, 4 points back, tied with Churchman coming into this race. Now with your battle back up front.
Miller's there, about a half a car length off. He has a car length back to Ben Manning, currently working lot 104 of 125. So not long and not a lot of circus go. There's the move for second. Manning into the grass and through the tri-oval. He's going to stick it there. We're side by side for second. The 67 on the inside lane. That's the preferred lane. He caught the 06 Miller off guard. Almost contact now off the turn 2. Miller is going to give now the 88 of Churchman a shot down of that stretch going into 3.
Maybe a little bit of contact going into 3 as the 67 of Ben Manning still works that inside. Now he's going to slide up, just about cutting off the nose of the 06. I don't know. Oh, no, trouble as the 67 of Ben Manning's going to turn your leader, Churchma. We've said it before, big trouble. Big wreck going into 1 involving quite a few trucks.
They're flipping in turn 1, and the guy that leads almost every single lap is going to end up in the junkyard at the end of the night, and the caution is back out. Wow, that all happened there coming off of 4. We saw the intensity picked up. We saw the 67 machine of Manning. The 06 went up, the 06 came down. We saw maybe the 88 of Churchman possibly get in the wall. The 67 of Manning crossed him over to the outside. Got a little bit of a wiggle, got sideways. That was the side-by-side we talked about in a dog leg. When you turn that truck up to the top and then try to get it left there in that kink there on the front straightaway. Hook out. the race leader, and now both drivers that enter tonight second in front of Dale Smalley are behind him at the end of the race. And then one truck went barrel rolling in turn 1, and that was the 67 of Ben Manning, another one of our front runners.
Oh, how the tables have turned. This shakes up everything now. We've sat here and we've said it, you know, Dale Smalley's certainly grinning now, knowing that the drivers are okay.
He's come down pit lane also.
Now I'm hearing that Dale Smalley will be coming down pit lane. Maybe he picked up some damage off of that incident. So all three of your chase contenders having some type of trouble here at Charlotte. You know, we oftentimes call Darlington the Lady in Black. Maybe Charlotte here under the lights could be the new Lady in Black.
The entire race and the championship picture has just done a complete 180. And we don't know how is Smalley going to recover from his damage. He got his quick fix. He is out. You know, we saw the 48 of Miracle get his black flag. He's a lap down, and he is not the first car lap down, so he is stuck there. And then Churchma has got his quick fix. He's still now on the racetrack, but he's currently being shown in front of Smalley. They're both trying to get repairs, and this is still a very active and developing story. But this could be the tale of the championship, what we just saw here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
It could be, and maybe the bad karma of Dale Smalley rubbed off on the 88 at Churchman. He says, if I can't catch you, I'll let karma take care of you. Not that there's any karma issues between the two, but it seems awfully funny that you have a good race like Churchman has been having. I made the call earlier saying that, you know, if anybody was going to win it based on the way they were running then, that it would be Churchman. And here we are, you know, we're sitting here. I mean, Evan, you said it. Everything had changed. The whole chase has been turned on the lid. We're hearing from the tower here. Wave by this time is going to be the 79 of Joel Wood, as Ben Manning causing that caution is going to be getting your EOL.
But now, even after all that, Marcus, we still have 15 laps to go.
Oh, this is when everything cranks up. This is when you sit back, you know, you see the lights on the pace car go out, you're coming into turn 3, you know it's about to go green, you reach up there, you pull them belts tight, you grip that steering wheel just a little harder as if you weren't gripping it hard already, and you get ready to put that pedal not to the floorboard but through the floorboard, and hopefully close your eyes and pray and make it to the checkers.
And now we see the 32 of Nathan Sedlak in the number 1 spot, qualified 3rd. He has, or actually qualified 9th. He has a fast car. We've talked about him, but now he's on the front row. How about the car in 2nd? Colton Berkey. He started this race 8th. So these guys that have kind of been around all race are now in control of this thing. Don't forget, you got the 06 of Daniel Miller still there. He's been up front all night long. You also got the 30 of Ross Cato, Michael Johnson, Travis Brown, Gordon Berkey, Jay Anderson, Jacob Nye, and Everett Lane around the top 10. Everett Lane was just on pit road for Black Flag. He's in the top 10. This thing is far from over, but the lights are off now on that Ford First Racing Mustang pace car, and we're going to go green to take lap number 111. So about 15 to go at that point. Remember, no green-white checkers. So it's about leading every single lap. You're not going to wait. You're going to get that door open. You don't want to wait till the last lap. This isn't Talladega. We're going to wait till you come off 4 to try to make the pass, because if that caution comes out within 5 to go, the race is over and the guy up at the front is going to go to victory lane. So they are not going to waste any time, and the 35 of Sedlak is going to have his hands full.
It seems like maybe the mindset to have would not be 125 laps till the checkered flag, but 120 till the checkered flag in that case, with the way this race has been going. We've heard it said before, to finish first, you must first finish. So are these guys going to heed that long-time racing quote, or are they going to go back at it? My guess, Evan, they're going to go back at it. And I don't think we've seen the last of the cautions, especially after what's just happened. I've just picked myself back up off the floor from that as they come off of 4 here, ready to take the green flag.
I just sat back down, and we're going to do it one more time at least. Pace car's off the pit lane. When does the 35 go? He has from the pace car to the green flag. He's waiting. Ah, there he goes. Nathan Sedlak on the loud pedal. The green flag is out. The 81 of Colton Berkey caught sleeping. They're going to go side by side for second. The 06 of Miller on his inside now, going into 1 and 2.
In the 1 and 2, the 06 is going to get the second place away there. Being he was in the preferred line, Colton Berkey was going to drip down. And now you're looking at the 30, it appears to be, of Ross Cato on the inside of Colton Berkey going into 3.
Berkey was waiting, maybe going to step out on Miller, and Cato just jumped on it and got to the inside, and it's going to be side by side for third. The advantage does belong to Colton Berkey by 1/1000 of a second last time by, but Nathan Sedlak has a half of a second lead and only has about 8 more laps till he gets to the point where a caution would end it and it would be in his favor. But they are coming up behind him, but they're side by side, so they're not going to be as quick as him. So it's up to the 06 of Miller in second, who does not have any company, to try to get up to there, but we're side by side again. The 81 on the top, the 30 on the inside. That's Cato side by side, still this time by the stripe.
Looking at the 30 of Ross Cato setting in that third position, you know he'd like to make that pass on the 81 of Colton Berkey, give him a little extra running room out there. Daniel Miller in the 06 is still setting in that second place as Colton looks now to pull up to the rear bumper of the 06, and he's going to lose that run that he had down the backstretch.
The 18 car is going to get some contact back there mid-pack with the one of Everett Lane. They are beating and banging all the way throughout this field, trying to get whatever spots that they can before we get to the checkered flag. The 18 continuing to drop back. That is Jay Anderson, maybe getting some damage from that exchange. Sedlak's lead is now a second, and he's looking to run away with this win. Almost contact for second now. The 81 looking to the inside on the 06 of Miller. That's Cato trying to make something work there off of turn number 4. He puts the block on him this time by the stripe, and he's going to get a shot from Berkey.
Colton Berkey would love to win here. His dad being Gordon Berkey, kind of showing the old man up a little bit, running third place here. You know he would love to win. Looking now at Nathan Sedlak, who took your lead from Churchman after that last caution, out to a little over a 1 second lead as he's going to be approaching some lap traffic.
They're still bumper to bumper for second. Colton Berkey looking for any way to get around him. They could end up in the fence if they're not careful here. Again, those guys that were going to pass championship leader Smalley are now behind him on the racetrack. So, oh, how the tables have turned. Sedlak now with 1.3 seconds over Daniel Miller in second. It's looked like he's going to come out and win this thing as he continues to pull away now, working lap 116. So inside now of 10 laps to go as the 81 of Colton Berkey continuing to look for a way around Miller.
Searching and searching as the laps wind down. I seen a truck a little sideways off of 4, nothing that got him out of whack, but just to keep that in mind. Right now, side by side for second as Colton Berkey looks to the inside of the 06 of Daniel Miller, and Ross Cato is going to be there heading into 3.
Cato helped out Berkey by giving him a shot to 3, and Colton Berkey to second, but Nathan Sedlak's lead continues to grow, almost of 2 seconds now for the lead. These guys in second on back are going to need a caution if they want to challenge for the win. The 06 of Miller almost into the back of the 30. Cato on the back bumper of Berkey. So we're bumper to bumper, second through 5th, and now Johnson going to go to the inside of Miller as well. So Daniel Miller fixing to go from 2nd to 5th here in these last 2 laps, and they're side by side 2 rows deep behind them, and Dale Smalley's in that mess as well.
Your championship leader, I'm sure, as it stands now, Dale Smalley, with Churchma sitting right behind him. Churchma had the advantage that time by 0.2 of a second, as a big run now for the battle for second still going on down the backstretch heading into 3.
On the inside is the number 30 of Ross Cato, the 81 of Colton Berkey on the top. Nathan Sedlak has set seal. He is in excess of 2 seconds in front of these guys. So if there is no caution here in this lap possibly, then the race is over. Unless the 35 is the one that brings out the caution. It is his race to lose. The 20 car is sliding through the grass. That's David Wenk. He is now up into the outside wall. He's going to hang on to it. They're scrambling back there mid-pack in 1 and 2. Several cars trying to get there, but they're still pointed forward for now.
Still pointed forward in a vehicle this close to the end that wants to go every which way but straight is certainly talent for these guys.
They're side by side for a second again. The 81 of Kohls-Weelborg on the top, the advantage to the 30 of Cato on the bottom. And then you also have Michael Johnson in the 78 sitting in fourth. They're battling still side by side. Again, championship leader Dale Smalley finds himself in a battle 2 wide, 3 rows deep full of that. They're battling all throughout the pack. And now they're wrecking. Big wreck on the front. Dale Smalley is going to get through it. And the race is going to end. Dale Smalley is going to capitalize, walk away with the championship lead. And Nathan Sedlak is going to go to victory lane.
A wonderful showing for Michael Churchman today. You know, even though he was involved in that, he led I believe most of the laps. But I got to give credit to the 35 and Nathan Sedlak, your race winner here at Charlotte. You know, he got out front and he said, "Hey, clock's clicking down, laps are clicking down," and he's like, "I got to go, and I got to go now." And when he did, he certainly went, opening up the biggest lead we've seen here tonight of over 2 seconds.
Michael Churchma entered tonight second, had some trouble, found himself up inside the top 10 in front of Dale Smalley, and in the wall again. We saw him in front of the field, airborne, flat spinning, and as that 88 machine was in the air, his championship contender and rival for these next 3 races, Dale Smalley, pretty much drove underneath him, and not the way he wanted to end it for sure. We're under the caution right now, working lap number 123 of 125 laps at the Charlotte Motor Speedway with the Cora Sunday Money Series here live on LSRTV. So all that 35 has to do is be able to make it around 2 more circuits, and he's going to go to the victory lane and pretty much come out of nowhere in those last 25 laps and pretty much blew everybody away when it came down to it and ended up getting the win. So right now, the cars that are left on the lead lap is 16 or 17 cars. I do believe it is 17 with Mark McFadden being the last car on the lead lap. So as they run right now, top 10 being Sedlak, Cato, Berkey, Johnson, Borges, Smalley, Brown, Pansula, and Sharp. And then Everett Lane in the number 1, rounding out the top 10. I'm almost at a loss for words at how the end of this race shook out. The way that it pretty much looked like maybe the Michael Churchma show, that he had it, and we saw the wreck, and the guys at the front of the field again. We saw about 3 wrecks before that main one there that really shocked us all and really put a big curveball in this race. Most of the wrecks were happening with guys in the top 5. The leader gets taken out in a big mad dash down the front straightaway. We talked about those kinks, the dog legs in that quad hole, could be trouble, and that's what got them. They got a crossover off 4. They ended up in the wall. And then we see Churchma come back up into the picture late in the going and ends up in the wall again and is given an EOL penalty for being the cause of the caution. And he's going to fall back. And when it's all said and done, Dale Smalley, who does not take a qualifying time, does not run in the top 10 until the last 20 laps, walks home with a 6th place finish and is going to leave here as the championship leader and tried to make it another championship here with the Cora Sunday Money Series. Again, tonight is the Kohls-Weelborg Truck Center 200. Kohls-Weelborg Truck Center located in Redwood Falls, Minnesota, jumping on board with Cora to put on this race. Some other people at Cora that happen for them is Smalley Drywall, the Sim Racing Setup Analyzer, Small Town Computers, and Hurley Property Management. Just some of the people that make this happen here at the Cora organization. The white flag has been out, so it's half a lap, and Sedlak is going to find himself in victory lane.
A wonderful showing by all of these guys. Evan, you were mentioning the sponsors there. Certainly have to give a shout out to them guys. The Cora board members that, I don't know if you mentioned them or not, but the Cora board members that put their time in every week to put these races on, qualifiers being Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. James Brown, who was in the race, the CEO, Gordon Berkey, who was in the race, the VP, Kevin McCarthy, Alan Larson, he's been on the broadcast a couple times, Carl Jones, Colin Forbett, all them guys up there, they certainly love what they do, and they love putting these races on.
And it's going to be across the striped line, Nathan Sedlak to victory lane at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and will pick up his race win in the first race of 3 in the chase for the Cora Championship. What a night of racing it was. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to try to talk to our top 3 finishers and set you guys up for next week, because we're not even going to be in these race cars. It's going to be the Indy cars at Richmond. So a lot more to come here on the post-race show. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4, and the checkered flag, he wins his first NASCAR iRacing.
And welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. A wild one has just wrapped up here after 125 laps. Me and Marcus were definitely in for a show with the Cora Sunday Money Series Kohls-Weelborg Truck Center 200 tonight. Marcus, you're down there on the pit lane with our third place finisher, the 81 of Colton Berkey.
Took me a little bit to get to him here, being stopped by everybody asking me how the show was, but Colton Berkey here finishing third. Quite a showing. A couple late race cautions there. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I was just kind of up here running. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it on field or not, so I'm kind of glad we got some cautions out here. I think it saved me.
You know, that last caution seemed to shake things up quite a bit there. You were working, you know, through the race and you know, didn't start too bad on the starting grid. Looking at 8th, tell us how the race kind of progressed and what you did to get up there.
Well, like I said, I was just kind of riding around, got used to how everybody was kind of running up here, so I just kind of fell into a zone and kept motoring.
Methodically working your way to the front, which is something maybe has to come into play here at Charlotte a little bit. You seem to run really good, and the truck looked really good. Did you have a fair amount of time here to prepare with the week's practice?
I had a little bit. This is one of my favorite tracks, so I kind of know it pretty good here. I was hoping I could hold Ross off there at the end, but he was just a little bit faster.
Yeah, Ross finishing second there. We'll be to him in a minute. Colton, it was a good run and a great showing. So,
thank you.
And Colton, real quick, any sponsors, any shout outs do you want to throw out for you and who makes it happen for the 81 team?
Well, I got to thank the guys up in Cora there for putting on a great show. And thank my dad, Gordon, for the qualifying setup. If I wouldn't have had that, it might have turned out a little bit differently for me.
And definitely, well, congratulations on a solid top 3 finish, and hopefully we'll be able to see you up here in upcoming races. Congrats, and good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Now, I do believe that we have radio communications with the driver of the number 30, Ross Cato, rather. Ross, you got a copy?
Certainly do, sir.
Good job.
You had a great battle there at the end with Colton. You were able to get on to second, making that work on the inside lane, but Nathan Sedlak just ran away with it, and by the time you got around them, you really had no shot at getting at him for the lead. Do you think if we saw the caution flag fall earlier, you had something for him on maybe a 1-2 lap shootout?
I really honestly don't know. I mean, we have the same setup, but like I said before, it was really tight, and I really don't think probably couldn't have caught him. But that battle with Colton at the end was pretty spectacular. I was really happy that he raced me clean.
Qualified in the 14th position. That's a pretty solid qualifying effort based on the amount of talent that we have in tonight's field. You were the 19th and fastest in practice, so a good pickup for you. We saw a long green flag run from about the middle of the race to the end there. That was almost an excess of 50 laps about. What were you doing around that time, and then how did you manage to get your way into this position right now in the top 3 at the end by getting around those wrecks there late in the going?
Lots and lots of adjustments. Like I said, the truck was tight. Just came in, got some tire pressure in the right rear, and just played with the wedge. So yeah, pretty much just adjustments so that I could make the truck rotate better than the other drivers, and it paid off, and I got second.
And definitely in a solid effort for sure. We saw that these racetracks, or the combination rather, with this truck and this track, they wanted to go every which way but straight. They were sideways, they were loose off the corner, they were hard to handle in traffic. How was your car really overall? And then did you find yourself in any situations where you thought that this might not end well?
Oh, certainly. The last wreck or the second to last wreck, which involved my teammate Ben Manning, I was almost sure I was going to plow right into those guys if they came down across the track. But as far as the truck's handling, I knew it was going to be all dependent on adjustments, and my teammates, they recommended that I lift sooner, and they were really helping me out over TeamSpeak.
And definitely in a solid finish in the end. I'm taking a look. Looks like our race winner has the same paint scheme as you. So with that being said, teammates, sponsors, any shout outs do you want to throw out there?
Yeah, I just want to thank these guys for inviting me on their team. Fast Forward Racing, we've been a force to reckon with a few of these past races. I joined Cora a little late in the season, and I'm not in the chase, but the three other guys in this team, they really work hard on setups, and we work together on them all week. I usually qualify on the Saturdays, but I just really got to thank this team for first inviting me on board, and second putting up with me, and third helping me maintain these good runnings that I've had in Cora.
And do you plan on showing up next week for the Indy cars?
Oh, certainly do. Yeah, I cannot wait for that. That's going to be so fun.
Well, definitely. Congratulations on a solid top 2 finish, and you're looking forward to it. Hopefully we can see you up here in the top 3 again, and good luck next week.
All right, thank you so much.
Marcus, I do believe it's about time that we go down there to victory lane with a very happy race winner, driver of the 35, Nathan Sedlak.
Out of the truck now, Nathan is getting soaking wet down here. Nathan, a good showing for both you and your Fast Forward teammate, Ross Cato. Tell us how that race went. It certainly shook things up a little bit there at the end.
Yeah, it definitely got a little crazy there at the end. I was glad to get a good restart. Hated to see it end under caution like that, but from my point of view, it wasn't all that bad. With 3 to go, I saw it come out, and I said, oh, man. And I was pulling away there pretty good, so it worked out. But, yeah, it was a lot of hard work and everything this week getting it up there.
Looking here, you qualified 9th, was 12th fastest in practice. Did you think coming into this you really had the truck to finish in that top spot?
Well, we figured out early in the week through some qualifiers and stuff that what you needed to be able to do was go on the long run, because everybody would really get tight over the long run. And the main focus was to get that right before everything else. And it was able to pay off in the long runs. We were able to gain on some people there and things like that. So the main focus was that rather than the qualifying. It was pretty good, but those ones, I couldn't get out of those this week. I couldn't anything below that. So it was pretty good, and it worked out. And like I said, over the long run is where I was looking for tonight.
Certainly had our showing of green flag runs. Talk about from that last restart onto that last caution. You opened up a pretty significant gap of 2 seconds as the second place guys there, Ross Cato and Colton Berkey, were battling back behind you. Did that kind of allow you to breathe a little bit once you had that gap?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Like I said, the restart was real good there, and I got away real well. So that worked out and everything. But, this is my first win over at Cora, so it's definitely nerve-wracking coming into the race, and that last little bit there was definitely something else for me.
Well, congratulations to you. Before we let you go here, who makes it happen for you?
Just everybody, all my teammates here at Fast Forward Racing, Galen, Ben Manning, Ross Cato. Ben and Galen had some tough nights tonight, and things happen with them, but they do a lot to help me out every week and everything that the guys do over at Cora. And Kevin, our guy up in the tower, he gets it tough sometimes, but I just thank all them guys.
Certainly a good group, and it was a wonderful showing for you tonight. And, want to congratulate you and the Fast Forward team, your teammate Ross finishing second. Certainly, as a first race in Cora, it's got to be something that you and your teammates are awfully proud of.
Yeah, definitely. We've worked hard all year to stay in the chase area there, and to be able to get a win in the chase. And some guys have had some issues tonight, so we'll see what happens with the points. And but yeah, all in all, a good race by all the other Cora drivers too. They all work hard, and we try to put on a good show for you guys and keep it clean out here.
Yeah, not the way you wanted to see it end under caution, but I guess this victory can be called bittersweet. Evan, I'm going to send it back up to you here, and Nathan, congratulations tonight. You did an awesome job.
Thank you again.
That is a sharp-looking truck in victory lane. I might add both the 30 and the 35 cars. Those are some nice-looking paints. But Marcus, that was an interesting race to say the least. The end of that thing, I don't think any of us could have predicted what went down there, the way that it all affected the championship storylines, and in the end, Nathan Sedlak coming out with the victory, getting that first win here with Cora. Definitely a good thing to see here when it's all said and done. Before we go off the air here, what was your summary on tonight's race?
Well, I knew it was going to be interesting from the start. I said it was going to be fun, and I said that we were going to see some side-by-side racing, and we certainly did see that tonight. We seen even some hints of 3 wide there at one point coming off of 4, which made it really, really interesting. I talked earlier when Churchman was out front about he was my man to win it tonight. But and then with his problems, it just goes to show that these races on these 1.5-mile tracks with the truck that's as tail happy as these things are, anything can happen in the blink of an eye. And I had a blast up here. I want to thank you guys there at LSRTV for giving me the chance to be up here in the booth. And I know the drivers had a blast down on the track.
And definitely, it was a great, exciting race to watch. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do so, and we look forward, obviously, to next week and the final 2 races until we determine our champion. It looked like Dale Smalley was going to have a hill to climb, but he finds himself sitting back up atop the points when it's all said and done next week. It is the Berkey Painted and Sandblasting Richmond Indy 150 from the Richmond International Raceway. That's coming up next week, next Sunday night here on LSRTV. Just another note, some other stuff we got coming up this week. Tomorrow night, the Real Sim Racing Icebreaker Winter Series. Also Tuesday night, I'll be up for the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. And then Wednesday night, of course, the Maritime iRacing League. So lots of stuff to come this week. For Marcus Babb, Laura Lawson down there in the production hauler, getting us on the air and working the cameras. My name is Evan Posoko. Congratulations to race winner Nathan Sedlak, and we will see you next week.